see. Okay, we're on Facebook. 1 second, guys. Sure. Okay, it should be going out to everybody now. So now I'll just wait for people to come in. Okay. Oh, I forgot to message her. Let me message her now. Hey, Lorraine, how are you? Hey, Priscilla, how are you? Thank you so much for purchasing a charming. So tonight is Sunday, so it's charm night. I am going to do some charmings. Priscilla has contacted me and sent me payment for one, so we're definitely going to start with her. If any of my Patreon subscribers come in, they can cash in on their charmings if they feel so inclined. We're at a new month, right? We're in April, so anybody can get their charming if they want, any of my Patreon subscribers. So happy Easter, everyone. I hope you guys are all right. I hope you guys had a good holiday. I didn't really know what was a good time to go on, like on Easter. It was kind of like I was not even sure I should go on. Like, I mean, because it's sort of a high holiday in a way, but I thought, why not? Like, it's still Sunday, and maybe there might be people that aren't necessarily celebrating. I don't know. So, and I didn't make an announcement that I wasn't going to go live. Hi, Christina Davis Buffkin. How are you? So, so Priscilla, if you're ready, just give me a one subject, one word subject. And if you want me to charm on something specific, and I can do that for you. Let me set up the camera while we get ready to go. Make sure that, oh yeah, see, that's why I gotta do what I gotta do. Okay. That's better. There's even a little dog bum up here in the corner. I don't know if you guys can see. Can you see? Let me see. Can you see that right there? That's Gus's butt. Right there at the end of the pointer. That's Gus's butt underneath the live sign. He's asleep on the floor right there. So we've got a little bit of dog butt. We can't be mad at that. And we have a lot of stuff on my desk, so I look kind of crazy. Well, these are the decks that I use for the daily forecast every day. But, and then my phone. General? Okay, perfect. All right, so I guess we'll just get started. So what does Priscilla need to know? Let's find out. One moment. Okay. Hey, Vicky, how are you? Oh, wow, something went flying way across the room. So an O fell out on the floor by my chair. We have an I on the side of the board. I already don't like this because this says ask me later. So we have an N, we have a D, we have another D, and we have an L. We also have an I here that landed on the outside of the board and an O that totally flew out like underneath my chair. So I'm going to set the O aside because I don't know if that means anything really. We've got 1, 3, 5, 6, and this would be a 7. So let me see here. What's going on here? Got believe. We've got peace. So I kind of feel as though, I mean, you did just say something to me about this, Priscilla, like in the last video we just did when you were saying you were leaving a situation that was no longer good for you. And I definitely feel that is kind of also what's happening here. There's no peace. Both of these words, when I flip them upright, right, they're upside down. So that means not only are they sort of hidden away or kept away from you, like where we don't see, like, we don't feel as though we have them, right? They're also kind of disturbed in the sense that they're upside down to me. So it feels like you haven't necessarily had any or felt any real peace in a long time, deep, like sort of inside yourself, or at least in the past, certainly you didn't, because this would be like sort of the past sector. And then this belief is like, I think that this lack of peace or whatever maybe challenged you in your beliefs in everything that was going on around you, right? Here, what we've got is this, like in this section here is sort of the present time, the higher mind, the conscious mind, and the subconscious. In the subconscious, we have the number 4, which 4s I associate with like stability or bringing stability about, trying to pull our own, like currently, it feels like you're trying to maybe pull your own stability up from deep within yourself and bring it, like I sort of feel like this dice is wanting to move up to here, right into the conscious mind and sort of in the present state and be at the center of all of this, where it's kind of like, in some ways, black can represent negativity, but I also feel like black also can ward off negativity. And so I feel like this is about bringing in stability and warding off any sort of negative things that have been going on that have been disturbing your belief, maybe in yourself or in life in general, and your peace, right? But these are also like, the peace thing to me is in the subconscious and more towards the past. Belief is like, your belief in stuff right now is certainly being challenged when it's upside down and flipped over like that. Like you're maybe having a harder time believing in stuff. This ask me later feels like we don't have the clarity or the belief or the sort of centeredness that we need right now. I think that we're working towards it. And I like that this 4 is down here because I do, like I said, I do feel like it's trying to be pulled up from deep within you to the center. Like I feel like that's the action that's taking place. Up here, it says a wonderful journey is ahead, right? This is not upside down. It is face upright and it's kind of tilted on the side. Like it's like we're trying to get to that place. And it is like this on this clear stone, which I like that because it's like sort of a clarity thing, right? And it's in the higher mind moving towards the future, because this section onward would be the future. So when I see this, it looks like we're trying to clear our mind. We're trying to get our mind in a space of seeking opportunity, the hope that something wonderful can and will happen for us, but we're not feeling that right now in our present moment, right? That's this sort of asks me later, like we're working on it right now. We're working on finding it. And we're also trying to, like I said, pull the stability up to the center here. The only thing is I don't like this guy here, this Scorpio symbol. This was my original symbol for Scorpio that was in here. But to me, a scorpion can sting you. It's that whole story about the Scorpio and the scorpion and the frog, where he's riding on the frog's back and he says, he says, give me a ride, frog, take me across the lake. And the frog says, no, I'm not going to, you'll sting me. And he says, why would I do that? I wouldn't do that. I'm riding on your back. And, you know, you would die and then I would die. That makes no sense. And the frog says, okay, get on my back. And they go out into the middle of the lake or the river or whatever. And the Scorpio just stings him, and he says, Scorpion, I'm dying now. Why did you do that? You said you weren't going to sting me. And he says, I can't help it. It's in my nature. And so it makes me think of that. I feel like there could be something in the future that could come at, I don't want to say at a cost, but like there's some sort of, he feels adversarial to me. And I know that you just said something about your ex, or your soon-to-be ex, and the changes that you're having there. I kind of wonder if this person is trying to block whatever this sort of new journey is that you're moving towards, or wanting to find clarity around and hope around moving towards. I'm doing well, Vicky. So idle, if you count the O. Oh, that's interesting. Idle would be in there if we did count the O. So to me, with such a lack of charms on here, I feel like this is like a transition period for you right now, where you're trying to kind of find it within yourself to bring yourself forward. The ask me later isn't even a bad dice, in the sense that it feels like there's still hope, like you haven't given up, right? Or you haven't, you're like, ask me later, like I'm working on it, like don't, just give. And there's also energy in that orange, right? The orange, the color orange I associate with sort of the sun, or with being energized, fruitful, that kind of a thing. So I feel like there is action being taken in here, in this area, but it's taking some time. Yes, he is. I'm kind of stuck, haven't left yet. And I kind of feel like he may not want to let you go. This sort of feels like he's like, this Scorpio feels like he's running around. Like, I feel like he's scrambling around up here, trying to block you from believing that you can go, or that if you go, you can be clear about that and set up something new for yourself. That's this wonderful journey is ahead. It's like, I know that you believe that there's probably better out there, but he may try to convince you otherwise. I feel like, though, this Scorpio, like, to me, it feels like he's sort of scrambling, or will be scrambling in the future. So like, the way that I see him in my mind is I see him running in circles in a little bit, in a way. And so it's like, even though he tries to get you, or tries to divert your attention, or tries to tell you otherwise, I don't know that you're going to listen to him. That's not the feeling that I get. I feel like he's going to be scrambling around, and ultimately, yes, he may sting you, but he is a Scorpion. Like, we can just step on him. Like, he's not a formidable, as formidable as he might think he is, if that makes sense. But the thing is I feel like this die is the key. Like, it needs to be pulled up here. This is then, then you have this stability of this 4 in your center, like sort of strong. Even though it's black, the black doesn't bother me. The black actually signifies like a sort of a grounded strength in this case. That's what I'm getting from that, is it's like coming deep up from within you, that like, no, this is what I'm doing. It's not about ask me later. It's like, now I know I'm moving towards this new journey ahead, but El Stingaringo is going to want to try and get in the way, but we don't necessarily have to let him. Hey, Karen Stringer, how are you, dear? And remember, Vicky and Karen, if you guys, it's April now, so if you guys want to, Karen, if you want to get a charming, you certainly can. And Vicky, I think you're due for, if you want to get a charming tonight, you can, or whatever. I know I need to send you a charming too, now that I just thought about that. So if you guys want to, you certainly can. So that, I hope that makes sense. I know it's not a whole big super reading, because there's not a lot of charms there, but I think, like I said, there's a sort of transition that's happening. And the number 7, right, which we have 7 numbers here. These letters add up to 7. 7 is about making a conscious choice, in my mind, then the vibration of number 7, leading you to the 8, which would be the number 1 of this O, right, which would be that balance. 8 would be about bringing things back into balance. So to me, it's like we're not quite at that balance yet. That's what, but this one was out here. It flew at me. Like, it's like we're on our way to the one. We're on our way to this sense of stability and balance, but we have to like sort of, you know, muster it up within ourselves. But you will. You're like in the process of that right now is the feeling. No, I don't have my hands full, Vicky. If you want to go next, you're fine to go next. And we can count it as your April charming, because you still have that other charming that I need to send you, or I can send you a card reading in place. You just let me know, because we're now in the beginning of April, or you can wait until later April if you want to do that. It's up to you. I'm not sure. Is he a Scorpio? Or are you a Scorpio maybe? But I feel like this is trying to block you. A card reading? Okay, I'll send you one. And Karen, did you want to get your charming tonight? Is that what you're saying? Yes? When you say yes, thank you. No, he's a Libra. Okay. I just feel like he's trying to like, and this is the scramble. Like, I feel like this guy is like running around in circles here in the future. Like, when you actually start to sort of separate or depart, that's when he's going to start maybe stinging or trying to, you know, stop you. But ultimately, I don't feel like it's strong enough. Okay, perfect, Karen. I don't feel like it's strong enough to, it's just going to be more of an annoyance, if anything. It may hurt, but separations can hurt in that way. Things might be said, but remember, those things are being said in a because he's sort of, you know, hurting too in a way, I guess, but it's not to be heated. And I feel like you ultimately will be stronger than that. And I like that this is a wonderful journey is ahead, meaning there is something better for you out there. I'm not saying like maybe romantically, but you know, there's something else better certainly out there for you. And you getting clear and understanding that and moving towards that may incite some sort of like, I don't know, microaggressions or even full-on aggression from him that's just going to be annoying as hell as you try and get the hell out of there. All right, so I'm going to clear the board. We'll do Karen's. Karen, did you have a subject? And know that you're also, Priscilla, know that this stability is coming in and that balance of the 8 is coming in too. So you're working towards that right now. That's almost the ask me later. Like, it's just, you got to be patient and keep working towards it. It's actually sort of interesting because this week's forecast from this morning, there's the first card on the daily forecast on the YouTube channel is the Hanged Man. And that's kind of some of that energy of feeling like, are we moving forward? It was sort of empty in here, right? That would be that Hanged Man energy of feeling sort of stuck there. But as we defend our stance and we continue to move forward, there's like a realization that happens. Oh, that's cool. Happy birthday to your parents, Lorraine. All right, so Karen. Let's do love for Karen. What does Karen need to know about love? Interesting. This says it is certain. So we only have one letter, which is the letter T, and it's a number 1. Number 1s I always associate with focus on the self, or a relationship to self. There's a lot of activity happening more in the past right now. We have the 6 of Cups, but it is turned upside down. The 6 of Cups would be like sort of this nostalgic family feeling, that sort of a thing. There might have been a situation where you had what you thought you needed or you thought was it, and it sort of tipped over. This it is certain to me feels like, and it being on black in this case in point, and I know a little bit about your history, Karen, this feels like the ending is sort of certain here. Like we know it's over, it's done. The cups are poured over. Whatever nostalgia, whatever sort of sense of family, closeness, all of that stuff is kind of moving to the past and done. This says, when you are grateful for what you have, more will come into your life. It is upright. So I feel like even though, it may have been a sad loss or separation that happened in the past, and being certain about it might have been sort of, you had to hold to that truth or be strong in that. There was still a sense of sort of like keeping open-minded or being able to like maintain some semblance of understanding, gratitude, that sort of a thing. Also, you have the 6th chakra charm here on amethyst down in the subconscious, but to me this is the higher 6th chakra, right? It's a high chakra, but it's down in your subconscious, which to me says that it's like our intuition was speaking to us all along, especially during this whole situation of whatever this was that was going on. And I think that the strength of this is sort of what also enabled you to kind of be certain about separating from this emotionally, pouring the cups out, so to speak, essentially, and being grateful and sort of moving on. Now we're in this space here where it's kind of empty. And so the one thing that we have here is the domestic cat, or this little house cat, and he's like sort of face down and upside down. And to me, this kind of I think of him as being a house pet, right? So it makes me think of the home. I kind of get a feeling when he's like this that possibly there might be a little bit of loneliness going on in your home space, and that's understandable. I mean, who doesn't want love, right? We've been through some stuff. We've felt that love at one point in time. Like when these 6 cups were up, things were good. We understand what it feels like to be loved, and to love back in that way. And so I feel like we want that back on some level. I think that it can come back. Now may not be the time. Sometimes I get just as much of a reading in the empty spaces as I do where the charms are. And so to me, I feel like this is wide open, right? And that brings me back to this sort of nature of this number 1, right? Where it's sort of about focusing on the self and maybe what we need right now. And then this charm is in the higher mind and in the moving into the future, and this is wisdom, right? And it's flipped over, but when I flip it over this way, it comes out upright, meaning there's something, what I think is and that was our grounding stone for this week too, actually. It's funny, that word. What I think moving forward is there's this wisdom in the higher mind that you're hopefully working towards gaining around, I don't know if it's around love as much as it's around, I think it's around your relationship to yourself. Like, I know that you're asking for a love reading, but I really feel like the emptiness here says to me that it's sort of about how we connect to ourselves right now and where. And part of the reason why I say that too is because this cat also, it kind of feels like it's needing attention in a way, or that, and this would represent like our home life, or like house pets are like our babies. They could be like things that we love. So this to me, I'm trying to describe this because I kind of how do I want to put this? Like, I kind of feel like, and I don't want to put you on blast, Karen, but my feeling is that because this is the domesticated house cat, it feels kind of like, hold on one second, I need water. Your relationship to yourself and maybe to your home and your connection to your home and where everything's at right now feels a bit disconnected. That's why the cat's upside down and flipped over. That we need to like sort of flip this cat over, bring it to the center, into our conscious sort of space, down from the higher mind, and kind of love on this cat as if this cat is ourself, right? Or this cat is ourself. It's our home, it's our self, it's our, where we're at, where our safe space is. Does that make sense? And so as we love this or love ourselves, we sort of move into the future and we sort of gain this higher understanding and wisdom that will enable us to be better prepared and ready for the love when it arrives. Does that make sense? I also will say this too. House cats or just cats in general can be extremely independent animals. And so it's not that you don't need love. I just think that, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, house cats, like they love each other, but it's this funny thing where I kind of feel like, do you really need it right now? Or if you need it, do you need it from an outside source or does it need to be from within yourself right now? That's kind of the question that I want to ask, because I feel like right now with the cat like this, it feels like things are a bit disconnected. Because of maybe, sort of the situation in the past and stuff like that. But I do think that this feels very strong to me. And it's interesting that we have 6 chakras, our intuition, right? And then we have this sort of wisdom stone up here in the opposing corner. So it's kind of interesting how there's a weird balance between those two. One being upright, one being flipped over. So I almost feel like something from the past, some sort of awareness from the past, intuition from the past, from this whole situation that you've been through and it's gone or is passing on. Maybe we also glean some sort of wisdom up from our subconscious that comes into our higher mind moving into the future that we need or will assist us. Does that make sense? It's interesting too, because it's kind of like looks like as I look at it on the computer screen from this deep intuition here, it sort of seems to like travel along this line. Kind of like almost like a moon or something, like. And the present time space would be like right about here, right where the cat is. Kind of in the conscious mind and the higher mind. I think it's actually Easter. There's probably more people celebrating Easter than I realize. There's only 3 of you in here. Arc of learning. Got it. I would say that. I also feel like you already know a lot of stuff. But there's, you're learning more as you go, for sure. And remember, these are just snapshots. So it happens, and like these things can change very quickly. All right, you guys, I think since there's only 3 people in here, I'm probably going to sign off and just go hang out with the dual wugs, because it is a holiday, so people are probably busy with their families and whatnot. But thank you guys for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you to those that bought a charming, and to those that support me on Patreon. Thank you so very much. You have a good day too, Lorraine. And thank you, Vicky. I love you too. Thank you guys very much. I will see you guys again tomorrow in the morning for the daily. And I'll be doing more unboxings this week. And there will hopefully be more card nights this week, because tomorrow's what, Monday? Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I'll be around. You guys will see me. All right, you guys. So have a good day, and I will talk to you later. All right. Take care. Bye.